Hey guys, so I haven't done a live on this channel for a little while, and I thought I would hop on here just hanging out today. Actually taking a little bit of a break. And this YouTube channel has definitely gone through a lot of changes. And it's not my only YouTube channel. I have a couple of them. But this particular one I started, as you know, it was all focused on Amazon FBA. And I no longer do that. I focus now on digital marketing for coaches and consultants. And that is my primary thing. And so I wanted to talk to you today, hang out a little bit, and share a little bit of my journey for those of you that are interested and, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're thinking about starting an online business or coaching or consulting or digital marketing even. And I just felt like sharing a little bit of my journey and the things that I've gone through might actually help some people out there. And I think that when it comes to, you know, building an online business, there's so much false information out there. And I've run into so many people that have said, you know, I bought this course, I bought this program, and it didn't help me, you know, grow my business. And as I have gone deeper and deeper into, you know, building my own digital marketing agency, there's a huge difference between starting a business out and getting leads with digital marketing and already having a business established and getting and scaling it. It's far easier. Like Frank Kern, for example, only works with business owners that already have like income coming in and they're already succeeding, right? And I think that that's really important. And I apologize for all the background noise. People are mowing the lawn outside and I've got parakeets, but we're all good, right? So I think that it's really important to understand that when you're going out there and you're trying to find somebody to help you with scaling a business online, no matter what it is, really, you have to make sure that they are focused on where you are at. Because you can't look at another business that's really, really big and say, well, I'm going to just copy what they've done, because they're not at the starting point. You're not seeing them where they've started out. And probably one of my biggest frustrations has been the eye-opening realization that even digital marketing agencies, most of them, did not start their business online. And they did not get their first clients online. Or if they did, it was through like massive cold calling, cold emailing, you know, that sort of thing. I've taken the harder route, I suppose, one that's a little bit slower than most, and that's around true social media content creation. Because at the end of the day, I always feel that it's important to be authentic. And it's important that if I'm going to teach people how to do something, that I have to succeed in it. I have to be doing it myself. And I think that, you know, YouTube has always been one of the best places for me as far as coaching goes. Like I have a couple of YouTube channels, and getting clients that way has been the best for me. And I think that it's because you can build relationships with people on video. It's a lot easier than like going to Instagram and there's just a photo or there's just some information. There's, you know, you kind of lose some of the human contact. Now I know that Instagram is doing a change. They're now favoring, you know, videos and e-commerce and instant messaging. So if you're all about those three things on Instagram, then you're gonna grow, right? But if you're not, then you might need to think about shifting, right? And there's a lot of people, a lot of digital marketers, in fact, that are really thinking about, oh my gosh, like we have to change our content strategy now that Instagram is changing. And they're really trying to compete with TikTok, I think. All of this to say is that if you are wanting to scale a business online, or you're thinking about scaling a business online, or you're trying to do this and you're frustrated and you're like wondering how everyone else is succeeding at this. Most people don't run Facebook ads, for example, until they have thousands of dollars to spend. Because in order to get a true ROI, that's how much you've got to spend, right? I did a video on this a little bit, and touched on this a little bit in, I think 1 or 2 videos ago, around why it's so important that if you're going to use Facebook ads and you're going to use that to get your audience, that you get a group of people, like a pixeled audience or a lookalike audience or whatever it is that you're going to send to. You send them content, free content, and then you send it to them again, and you send it to them again, and you send it to them again. It's the same strategy that I've used on YouTube. Now, on my other YouTube channel, I went like viral for a couple of videos. On this one, I only had 1 viral video so far, and maybe at some point that will change. I think it just really depends on the SEO that I do. It depends on the content that I decide to do on this channel. But one strategy as far as paying to get clients and things, you can do that on YouTube too. You could pay to promote YouTube videos. And a lot of people grow their YouTube channels by paying for views. And then what that does is that it's building a relationship with people that are going to find your content that would not find it anywhere else. Like maybe your SEO, like one of the things that I've struggled since I changed my content, aside from there's a lot of people that follow me that don't care about coaching and consulting and building business online. They just care about getting rich quick, and I lose people every time I post a video on this channel still, because there's that demographic that's still leaving. But aside from that, in the digital marketing space, it's very, very difficult to find SEO that converts, like that has room to like create a video and it get traction, or you actually get visibility. So that's one of my struggles that I have dealt with in growing this, continuing to grow this channel. And I think also there's this misconnect in digital marketing that I've discovered of people thinking all I've got to do is be popular on social media and that's going to sell my products and services. Now I can understand that logic, but there's like this knowledge gap that so many people don't understand. And that knowledge gap is that like people like Gary Vaynerchuk, 90% of his followers are in Bulgaria. There's a book out there that's called 1 Million Followers in 30 Days. And I picked up this book because I was curious. I grabbed it as an audiobook like a year or 2 ago. And it talks about how everyone's got all these fake, like not fake followers, but they're all like in third world countries. And people build up their social media promoting to third world countries because it's cheaper, right? And so there's negatives and positives to that. The positive, I suppose, is that maybe people will trust you more because you've got more people following you. Maybe not. Maybe you'll look more important on social media. What was interesting to me is that I had the capability. You don't have it anymore, but I did record some of this because I do want to at some point provide this teaching to people, kind of like behind closed doors type of a thing, where I recorded and I went into some of these influencers' social media accounts and showed where their followers were located, like what third world countries that they are primarily at, because this is an ad strategy that people do to grow their social media. And so when there's a lot of people that are like, oh, that person's successful, I feel like they do a disservice, because a lot of people think, well, if that person's got millions of people following them, and they're successful, all it takes is to have millions of people to follow you. And they don't realize that even those people are dealing with a smaller number of people that are following them. It's a vanity metric, and it doesn't really matter. And when you start to really understand that, when you start to understand that it's not about how many people are following you, that it's about what you're offering, and it's about that process of figuring out who you're going to serve and providing massive value to those people. And the one thing that I have felt, even challenged myself, in this process of growing my agency is continuing to up my game, continuing to increase the value around things that I provide. So like one of the things I'm doing right now is this, I've not done this before. You've probably have heard this before, and there's probably a ton of people that are watching this that have done one of these, but I'm doing a 5-day free challenge. And so you do this on social media, and it's 5 days of just free content, free training. And I am providing to you, basically what I'm doing mine on is how to dominate sales funnel copy, because I felt like that was a huge need for a lot of people, understanding that it's very important to have great funnel copy, and it's very hard to find an easy way to accomplish that. And so I'm bringing people through that training. And as I've gone through this and just all the work that it takes to put something like that on, it takes, it took me an entire month to build it. And going through that process, and at the end of the day, not even knowing if it's going to be a success, can sometimes be very discouraging, because, that's what it takes as an entrepreneur, is to continuing to produce things that you don't know if they're going to succeed or not. And then you just keep going at to bat. You keep going at to bat. And the nice thing is, I know it's a proven strategy. I know that tons of people have done it. People that don't even have, oh, sorry, my battery is going dead. People that don't even have email lists doing challenges and being able to scale their business. And so that's why I hopped onto this, because I thought, well, I'm going to do this, and, it'll help me to, grow my business. Because when I switched my content here on this YouTube channel from Amazon stuff over to focusing more on just coaches and consultants in digital marketing and helping them scale, I deleted 6,000 people from my email list. I had 6,000 people on my email list. I deleted it and I started from scratch. And that was very tough to do, but I realized that everybody that was in my email didn't care about coaching or consulting. And that's what I chose to focus on. A lot of people wanted e-commerce stuff from me. And I decided that the more that if I were to focus on coaches and consultants and e-commerce, which I kind of did for a while, then, you water down your message and you become less and less effective to people. So I continue just to focus on the coaches and consultants, because I feel like that's the area that I can bring the biggest value. And so I wanted to come on here and just share some truth around the fact that most people do not start their businesses, even digital marketing agencies, doing content strategy. That's not how they start. That might be how they continue to get customers. That might be a venue. I met with a client this week, and she was asking me all the different ways, like she's struggling getting clients. And she's like, how are you getting clients? I'm like, I get clients a million different ways. I get them from my social media. I get them from freelancer websites. I get them from Facebook and talking to people in different groups and people reaching out to me and asking for help. I get them from YouTube. I get them from TikTok. I get them from everywhere. And you have to do that when you're starting out. You have to go out and pull out all the stops. I go on Instagram. I find people on Instagram, or not Instagram, LinkedIn. But I do get people on Instagram too. But mostly, a lot of people on LinkedIn have reached out to me. And for a long time, I had shut down my Instagram or my LinkedIn, and I didn't care about it. It was like a resume site, and I switched mine over to content creation, and I just do the same stuff that I do over on my Facebook, and have things post there. And I think that just bringing that value, and then I have, connected with people that I think are my ideal customer on my LinkedIn. And so what happens is that as I go and I try and connect with people and say, I'm trying to connect with more coaches and consultants, then they see the content that I'm posting. They see my lead magnets. They see the, like the stuff that I put in my videos here, like they see all of the free stuff. And then I can take them to the next level in my relationship with them, and saying, hey, well, I'm doing this 5 free day challenge. I read today a really, really good idea that I think that I'm going to try. And LinkedIn actually has a thing where you can do an ad to send people a message, but you could absolutely do this manually or hire someone to do it. So you get your lead magnet, right? So like one of my lead magnets is creating the ultimate guide to creating and selling online courses. It's just something that I wanted to provide to people because I felt like a lot of people are charging for that. I wanted to do it for free. I felt like it would be a really good lead magnet. That's always been my strategy. Find something that other people are selling and provide it for free. That's how I grew my email list when I did Amazon. Everyone was selling an online course on how to sell on Amazon, and I knew that it already existed. Amazon created a full-on university, but it was really difficult for people to find. So I just grabbed that university that was all private videos on YouTube, put it in a PDF. Some of you may not even remember this, and that was one of my free downloads. And so I wanted to create something, for free around online courses. And so that's one thing I did. But here's the strategy. I went down a rabbit hole. So what you do is you go out and you find your ideal customer or clients on LinkedIn, and you're going to send them a message and say, hey, I have this free X, Y, and Z, lead magnet, and I'm wondering if this would interest you, and if they say yes, then you reply and you say, great, what's a good email for me to send it to you? So you're not having them to go to an opt-in page. You're not having them go to your lead magnet page. You're having them give you your email, their email. So then they get added to your email list, and you get to follow up with them and build a relationship and say, hey, here is the free download. And, if you do your downloads right, you always want to add some sort of page in there, like the next steps, right, in the journey with you and in the relationship journey. And that would be, for me, I like to do a one-on-one, like digital marketing, kind of marketing assessment where people at and build their marketing plan out. And so whatever that next step would be for you, you would put that in your lead magnet. That can be somewhat of a manual process, but if you do an ad on, say, LinkedIn, then I'm going to see if there's, so if you do an ad on LinkedIn, you can actually, magnify this. You could send this email out to a massive amount of people because it's an ad, right? So all of this to say is that if you are scaling a business online, don't think that all of these digital marketing gurus are out there building their business just solely on content creation, because it's simply not the fact. And you even see this like with Gary Vaynerchuk as he goes, to business to business to business to business to business. He's bidding on work and he's out there getting business. He's not depending on his social media to get him clients. And I think that is very, very important to recognize when you are building any type of business online, that not everybody is focusing on that is their main way. I met one lady who does digital marketing. She's a digital marketing agency. She does a digital marketing agency, runs, focuses on doctors, right? And she doesn't do any digital marketing for her agency. Zero. She's built her entire agency on workshops in person and going to, like trade shows and selling her services. And so all of that to say is that if somebody cannot succeed at what they are trying to teach you to do, maybe you shouldn't be listening to them. Like I honestly, I listened to that woman, and she, everyone thinks she's really great because she's built this agency, this huge agency off of workshops. But then she's trying to go out and teach other people how to build their business, not with workshops, but with content creation and that sort of thing on social media. And I just feel like it's dishonest. I feel like when people go out there and they're telling you to do all that, just build an online course. Just build an online course, run some Facebook ads, you're going to succeed. They are lying, okay? That's not how it works. You absolutely cannot do that. You have to think micro. You have to think small. You have to think that core group of people initially. Now, if you have a large budget, if you have a bigger business, you can absolutely run those ads and grow, right? And I think in hindsight, like at the beginning of the pandemic when I was doing my life coaching, and I ran a lot of different ads for my Instagram for life coaching. And I think, you know, like I spent thousands of dollars. And I did a little bit on my digital marketing as well. But at the end of the day, I really regret growing my social media because it really did not do a thing for me. I think that it just is, again, it's a vanity metric. And if people don't really care about your content long term, then your engagement goes down, and you know, it's just not like on my life coaching stuff, I've started to post less like really sensitive triggering content where I started out that way and I wanted things to be a little bit more positive, and I've noticed that things have gone down. Now, if I want to put more triggering content out there, engagement will go, you know, skyrocket, right? But again, it's like you have to ask yourself, what type of community do you want to create? Do I want to create a community where people are getting triggered all day long, or do I want to create a community that is, you know, positive? And so there's all these different things to really think about when you're building your online business. And so I just hope that this is encouraging to some people, that maybe, you know, you're out there and you're trying to build a business online, and you are wondering, you know, like, why does it seem so much easier for everybody else and these people that have tons of people following them or whatever it may be? And the reality is they did not start with, you know, the way that they're teaching everyone to do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't start with just launching an online course. Like, for example, like we look at Tony Robbins, right? He's got this, you know, amazing program where he's teaching people to do online courses and all this kind of stuff. I think it's great, but that's not the way he started. Like, y'all probably have heard me talk about my dad selling Tony Robbins programs when I was 13 years old. And, you know, he hired salespeople to go out there and sell his stuff, and primarily to businesses. And I think that sometimes we forget where people started, where they started versus where they are now. And when they start to teach you to do things differently, you have to take a step back with your expectations, at least, of what you're going to get from that experience. So those are some of the things that I've learned in my journey. And, you know, I have some amazing customers and clients now that I'm working with, and I absolutely love to do their strategy. I love to build their businesses out, and it's a lot of fun. But they are established, and they have, you know, they've been doing their businesses for a long time, most of them. When it comes to like people that are just starting out, it's harder to grow if you know, have a small email list or whatever it is. So if you're somebody that is brand spanking new, I highly recommend that you start with your email list, do a little bit of manual growing, reaching out to people and focusing on that first. And then once you have a solid email list and, you know, like solid relationships with your customers and clients, then you can start doing some of the digital marketing stuff, and it'll actually start to pay off. It doesn't mean that you can't, like, you know, start a YouTube channel or any of that kind of stuff. Absolutely do all of that, because long term it's going to pay off. But short term, getting clients, sometimes you've got to do the manual process and do things offline. So guys, that's all I really want to talk to you guys about. And thanks for being here. And